An armored hero stands victorious over defeated thugs amidst fluttering banknotes. A captured criminal strains against his bonds, demanding to know his identity. The hero promises to teach the thugs a lesson in the house of the dead. He pauses dramatically, preparing to reveal that his name is Metal Spider, who proclaims he will ensnare all evil in his web of steel. The bound criminal whispers the hero's name in terror, Metal Spider. A man named Hayatsuki stares at a hero poster, murmuring in disbelief. On the phone, he confirms that his contract has been terminated. He asks for a reason, but is told it's not his fault. The corporate voice explains it is simply the changing of the times. Hayatsuki listens with grim understanding, accepting the cold corporate logic. The voice says his power is obsolete now that a real Yusha has arrived. Now the company only wants idol-like female heroes, disciples of the Yusha. The man offers a hollow apology for this indignity to a skilled man. A student nervously apologizes after bumping into the celebrity hero, Haruto. Haruto's companion fawns over him, completely ignoring the other student. Hayatsuki lets out a heavy sigh, acknowledging how difficult this is. He accepts that it's a done deal and he must find new work. The man on the phone asks for his understanding and apologizes profusely. He wishes him luck in his future endeavors before ending the call. Hayatsuki's hand drops the phone onto the bed. The time is 1941. He understands the company's reasoning, yet feels a deep sense of injustice. Lying on his bed, he realizes that he understands but cannot accept it. 2 months later, he is working at his family's liquor store. A TV program shows the new hero Haruto gallantly saving a woman. The show's host gushes about how handsome and amazing the Yusha is. Hayatsuki mutters that TV is unwatchable, filled with staged hero shows. A voice comments that the so-called female heroes are just playing games. Hayatsuki, now at home, is told that he's just complaining. A sharp-eyed young woman appears, noting he must have free time now. Hayatsuki looks up, a faint scar visible on his cheek. He dismissively calls her Little Missy, telling her where the juice is. She explodes in fury, demanding to know who he is calling a kid. She formally introduced herself as Kuroi Mari, the general manager from Star Account. Yoshitsugu casually greeted her, asking what brought her here after all this time. His expression turned serious as he revealed that he too had quit Star Account. He couldn't watch talented mechanics be forced to develop gear for the Yusha. Popping open a can, Mari admitted that she simply couldn't stomach it either. He asked if she knew what a Yusha was. She confirmed she mostly did. A flashback showed they were once humans summoned to fight otherworldly demons. She admitted she didn't understand the exact principles behind their transformation. Their bodies were remade, allowing them to absorb spirits and gain cheat-level abilities. But soon the other world began to have a surplus of these powerful Yusha. Once their purpose was served, they were simply sent back to their original world. She angrily explained they returned with warped minds and dangerous cheat-level abilities. Yoshitsugu argued that the otherworldly beings were the ones truly at fault. But she explained the wormhole they left behind allowed demons into their world. She compared it to a house infested with cockroaches, much to his disgust. He clenched his fist, admitting that in a way, they were still indebted. He held up his medal, explaining, Hero power was an imitation of the Yushas. Mari held the familiar spider medal, confirming his assessment was correct. Replicating the Yusha's ability to disassemble humans was ethically and technically impossible. In a flashback, a younger Yoshitsugu had expressed his approval of the project. He proudly reflected that his existence as a hero was thanks to many people. His fist slammed down on the counter with a surge of conviction. A true hero, he declared, is one who always stands with the citizens. She began to voice her fervent agreement with his passionate declaration. That, she shouted, is exactly what the arrogant Yusha and their ilk lack. She launched into a frantic rant about how difficult their new equipment demands were. Yoshitsugu watched her with a weary smile, understanding her immense frustration. A memory revealed some female staff suspected the Yusha drugged his cooking. He was shocked management didn't intervene, but Mari insisted they couldn't object. He mused that perhaps getting fired from such a rotten place was a good thing. Mari pointed at him with a brilliant smile, her eyes full of purpose. Utterly bewildered, he could only repeat her offer to scout him for a new team. She cheekily noted that his family's empty liquor store proved he had free time. Yoshitsugu protests that he has absolutely no knowledge of advanced mechanics. Mari waves him off, assuring him she isn't hiring him for his brains. Her playful demeanor vanishes, her expression turning serious as she reveals the truth. She has started a new hero team for a Yusha she knows personally. Stunned, he asks if one of her relatives was summoned to another world. Mari looks away, admitting with some reluctance that it is her younger sister. He is shocked to learn her sister is still just a high school student. A flashback shows her sister, who was summoned but returned on her own. Mari proudly explains her sister wants to use her power to protect their world. A small smile forms on Yoshitsugu's face, his opinion of Yusha softening. Mari says that after struggling to find sponsors, they are finally ready to begin. She looks him dead in the eye, asking him to be the team's commander. He can only repeat the word commander in utter disbelief. Mari explains that her sister's combat experience on Earth is dangerously limited. The other heroes are amateurs, so she needs him to guide them. Yoshitsugu listens intently, a question forming in his mind. She points at him, asking him to be their instructor and take command. He runs a hand through his hair, arguing his own specs are no match. Mari simply smiles, acknowledging that heroes can be a real handful. She explains the old spirit gear system was limited to one Sirai's power. A flashback shows how a Yusha can absorb limitless spirits, their true strength. Mari proudly reveals she developed an epic-making new system called Cross Gear. She promises this new tech will ensure no one calls him a cheap copy again. Yoshitsugu finally understands, a wry smile forming on his lips. He leans in close, teasingly asking if this makes him her test subject. Flustered, she insists there are others, but admits more combat data is good. He gently pats her on the head, silencing her pouting protests. He tells her that if that's the role she needs, he will accept it. Mari is overjoyed as he declares that being a hero is his true calling. He winks, adding that the allure of new gear is a man's romance. Mari beams, looking at him with newfound respect and genuine warmth. They shake hands, formally sealing their new partnership as fellow heroes. The quiet moment is shattered by a violent sound from a nearby building. Cornered on a rooftop, a terrified woman pleads for the monster to stay away. A terrified young woman named Eri pleads for the looming monster to stay away. The leering orc advances as a young man, Takuma, shouts for it to stop. Takuma yells at the beast, telling it not to dare lay a hand on Eri. The creature turns its brutish attention, annoyed by the sudden interruption. With a swift, powerful backhand, the monster sends Takuma flying through the air. Eri screams Takuma's name in horror as he lies defeated on the ground. The massive orc raises its foot, preparing to crush the fallen young man. The monster's powerful hand seizes Takuma, lifting him effortlessly from the ground. As the monster grins menacingly, Eri begs for it to stop its brutal assault. Suddenly, a blur of motion cuts through the tense standoff on the rooftop. With his last breath, Takuma desperately urges Eri to run and save herself. A sharp kick connects with the orc's head, sending the beast reeling back. The newcomer Yoshitsugu stands confidently over the momentarily stunned creature. He turns to the injured Takuma, asking if he is still able to move. Takuma protests his helplessness as Yoshitsugu asks if the girl is his lover. Yoshitsugu smiles with confidence, promising that he will be the one to protect him. The orc recovers from the blow, its face a mask of pure, brutish fury. He notes the monster's lewd behavior is no different from that of a human. Saying it's time to check in, he presses a button on his spider-themed watch. A brilliant light erupts from the device, signaling the start of his transformation. He raises his fist to the sky, bathed in the powerful, transformative energy. With a sharp click, the face of the watch springs open, ready to deploy. A small metallic drone shoots out from the watch with incredible speed. The spider-like drone flies towards the confused orc, preparing to activate. The monster looks down, its simple mind unable to process the strange device. The drone lands on the rooftop floor, emitting a soft electronic beep. From a flash of light, the unmistakable silhouette of a hero emerges from smoke. His armored gauntlet clenches, ready for the impending battle against the beast. His voice echoes from the helmet, declaring himself to be a predator. The enraged orc lets out a furious, challenging roar in response. Metal Spider lunges forward, a blur of silver armor and lethal intent. He connects with a powerful high kick, snapping the monster's head back. The impact lands with brutal force, but the beast remarkably remains standing. The monster grits its teeth, fury and pain mixing in its monstrous eyes. He acknowledges the monster's resilience and prepares his next strategic move. A star-shaped projectile made of webbing flies swiftly through the air. He commands the web shuriken to slice through his formidable opponent. The weapon cuts deeply into the monster's thick, muscular arm. The creature looks down, shocked by the sharp and unexpected wound. Seizing the opening, Metal Spider closes the distance in an instant. He stands before the towering beast, ready to press his clear advantage. He chides the beast for letting a simple shuriken distract it from the real threat. The orc sneers, sweat beading on its brow as it prepares to retaliate. He drops low and fires sticky strands of powerful webbing from his feet. He remarks that the monster's large, flabby build makes it an easy target, The strong metallic threads wrap tightly around the creature's thick ankles. Using the threads, he begins an acrobatic flip over the monster's head. Silhouetted by the full moon, he pulls the web taut with immense force. The leverage is too much for the off-balance and surprised monster. Its feet are yanked from the ground, sending it crashing violently backward. The beast is now completely ensnared in a massive, glistening spider web. He notes his threads aren't strong enough to simply slice the monster apart. He decides to end the fight, declaring his intention to use a finish move. A glowing spider-shaped sigil of pure energy forms in his open palm. He shouts the name of his signature attack, Metal Spider! He drives his energy-charged hand into the center of the monster's chest. A devastating shockwave of energy surges through the creature's entire body. The monster's form breaks down, dissolving into a pool of black sludge. He shakes a splatter of the dark, viscous fluid from his armored gauntlet. The last remnants of the defeated monster twitch and then fall completely still. He quips that even a beast that large is impossible to stomach. The young woman, Eri, stammers a quiet, heartfelt thank you to her savior. He asks if they're all right and tells them Takuma should see a doctor. Takuma realizes their savior is the famous hero from Star Account, Metal Spider. They excitedly tell him they've watched all of his live-stream battles. They find the online comments about his evil-looking suit hilarious. Takuma notes he was ranked 3rd in a popular Dark Hero poll. He decides to give his newfound fans some exclusive inside information. He's moving companies and his suit will be renewed. He asks for their support. With a final "see ya," he leaps from the edge of the rooftop. He swings into the night, reciting his heroic catchphrase for his fans. The next day, Yoshitsugu arrives at the impressive new company headquarters. He thinks it's much grander than Star Account. Mari found great sponsors. Mari greets him from off-panel, noting that he is punctual as always. She explains her rare business suit is for the official contract signing. He turns to the girl beside her and offers a polite introduction. Yuri immediately gets in his face, demanding to know his relation to her sister. Mari, mortified, yells at Yuri to stop as Yoshitsugu looks on awkwardly. She physically restrains her sister, apologizing for her protective outburst. He explains he's just a mechanic she worked with, a simple colleague. Yuri eyes him suspiciously, still not entirely convinced by his explanation. Mari is flustered, embarrassed by her sister's intense and fierce protectiveness. Finally relenting, Yuri bows and apologizes for her very rude behavior. She formally introduces herself as Kuroi Yuri, asking him to care for her sister. Mari playfully notes that while her devotion is sweet, it is a bit much. She tells Yoshitsugu to be wary of strange men, since her sister is so cute. The term One-chan echoes in his mind, the familial bond impressing him. Mari notices his distraction and calls his name, bringing him back to the present. With the introductions over, Mari announces it is time for them to go. The receptionist confirms their meeting and directs them to the president's office. Walking down the hall, he notices posters for a magical girl anime. He asks aloud if their sponsor is an anime company of some kind. Yuri stops him, saying there's something she must tell him before they enter. She warns him to be careful with his actions and not to draw attention. He is left completely baffled by her cryptic and urgent warning. He worries about what she means, wondering if the president is hard to deal with. They arrive at the door to the president's office as the elevator dings. The three of them walk in silence down the final stretch of the hallway. Yuri knocks, announcing that she has brought Hayatsuki-san with her. Yoshitsugu freezes, his face a mask of shock as he recognizes the familiar voice. A whimsical shelf displays an array of cute magical girl and animal plush toys. The company president stands with his back to them, surveying his anime-themed office. Yoshitsugu is stunned, recognizing the posters for the popular anime Floral Princess Angel Hell. The president addresses him as Hayatsuki-kun, and Yoshitsugu nervously responds. He asks for Yoshitsugu's completely honest opinion of the room he has created. Mari looks on with weary resignation as Yoshitsugu stammers, realizing the situation's absurdity. He diplomatically admits he doesn't know the characters but feels the passion behind the work. As a figure collector himself, he explains, he understands the immense effort involved. He concludes that he is deeply interested in a creator who inspires such devotion. The president beams with delight, declaring that Yoshitsugu has great insight and potential. He gets uncomfortably close, insisting a man of taste must understand magical girls. He grabs the bewildered Yoshitsugu, trying to drag him to the theater room for a screening. Mari screams in mortification, telling her father to stop his embarrassing display. Yoshitsugu looks on in utter confusion, a bead of sweat on his face. The president proudly wraps his arms around his daughters, calling them his princesses. A sound effect expresses Yoshitsugu's complete and total shock at this revelation. Mari mutters that she should have warned him, as he stammers in disbelief. Later on a couch, he remarks on the strange fate that brought him to this company. The president sits formally, announcing it is time to discuss the new team's contract. He asks Yoshitsugu with great seriousness about the public perception of the Yusha. Yoshitsugu hesitates, unsure what to say in front of Yuri, who is a Yusha. Yuri assures him it's fine, telling him not to hold back on her account. She states coldly that the title Yusha is now just a label for arrogant bullies. Yoshitsugu protests that not all are like that, but she counters that it's the public image. The president sadly confirms that what Yuri says is the unfortunate truth of their situation. A flashback shows a Yusha causing immense collateral damage without a care. Another image depicts a Yusha aggressively silencing any form of criticism. Mari adds that the homegrown Hiru, who clean up their messes, particularly hate them. Yoshitsugu reflects on his own bitter experience of being cast out by a Yusha. Yet he knows their power is still a necessary evil against the strongest demons. He recalls that Hiru technology was originally developed with the Yusha's help. The president agrees that this very contradiction is the reason for their meeting. He explains Mari's proposal, a joint team of Hiru supporting Yuri, the Yusha. Mari passionately states their ideal is to protect citizens while reforming the Yusha's image. She believes if they set a new standard, the world's opinion of them will change. Yoshitsugu turns to Yuri, asking if she is truly satisfied with this arrangement. Yuri confesses that her dream was never to be a Yusha, but a Hiru. A flashback shows a young Yuri in kendo gear, determined to protect her family. But fate intervened, and she was summoned to another world against her will. She smiles, telling him she will gladly cooperate to protect her city with a Hiru. The president, satisfied, tells Mari to show him the newly developed equipment. Mari's hand opens a sleek, metallic briefcase with a soft click. Inside rests the new cross gear and its dedicated star-shaped biometal. Yoshitsugu wonders how this biometal is different from the spirit metals he uses. He can't help but comment on its rather fancy, almost whimsical design. Mari scratches her cheek, admitting the design was her father's passionate request. The president stands and points dramatically, ready to reveal the team's official name. He booms that its name is the Magical Girl Battle Squad Alternative. The president pants with excitement as Yoshitsugu and Mari stare in horrified silence. Outside the gleaming Futaba building, Yoshitsugu's mind still reels from the absurd name. They have arrived at the Futaba Pharmaceutical Company's underground laboratory. The upgraded Metal Spider Ver 2.0 suit stands in the lab, awaiting its first test. The suit's helmet powers on with a soft whir, its visor glowing. The new powerful armored gauntlet clenches into a tight fist. A title page for Episode 4, Magical Girls, shows the suit in a training simulation. The observation team, including Mari and the president, watches in awe. Inside the suit, Yoshitsugu is amazed by its incredible performance and power. Mari proudly asks if he can feel the difference in her latest creation. She boasts of the enhanced thread strength, now capable of physically cutting objects. The president is pleased they took the opportunity of his transfer to upgrade the suit. The new mantle and visor, he notes, create a far more heroic silhouette. Back in his regular clothes, Yoshitsugu humbly wonders if he deserves such an upgrade. The president announces it is now Yuri's turn to demonstrate the cross gear's power. Yoshitsugu asks for a more detailed explanation of how it differs from spirit gear. Mari agrees to explain, noting the gear is absolutely essential for transformation. She holds up his old spider metal, confirming he knows it's not a mere souvenir. She states that spirit metals can be used by anyone with an affinity for the Seirai. Yoshitsugu quietly agrees, knowing many heroes inherit their gear from predecessors. However, she reveals a critical flaw. Conventional gear was unusable by the Yusha. The foreign Seirai would conflict with those in their bodies, causing a violent rejection. But she declares the situation changed with Futaba's development of the biometal. By encoding genetic information onto it, the metal itself becomes part of the user. This allows the Seirai to recognize it, completely eliminating the rejection reaction. She leans in close, playfully teasing him about the complex scientific explanation. In the testing chamber, Yuri holds her unique, cat-themed biometal to her brooch. With a calm expression, she holds the metal and calls out the command, "Trans!" An energetic cat-shaped spirit of light bursts forth from the metal. Her hand is elegantly outstretched as she announces her new title, Magical Girl Yuki. The words "dress up" appear as her eyes shine with newfound magical power. The transformation completes with a playful wink and a cheerful, "Ready, go." She strikes a confident pose for the stunned observers in the control room. She turns, a little embarrassed, and says that this is basically what it's like. Mari grabs a flustered Yoshitsugu, annoyed that he seems so surprised by the theme. He analyzes her costume tactically, noting it seems more for a child's friend than combat. Yuri explains her appearance is a strategic lure, as many demons target women. Yoshitsugu concedes that it's a valid tactic against certain types of monsters. The president reveals the initial design was far more revealing, but he toned it down. Yoshitsugu thinks to himself that he wouldn't want his daughter in a skimpy outfit. The president launches into a furious rant about the blasphemy of sexualizing magical girls. Mari cuts through the chaos, nervously asking about the other squad members. She asks if he really thinks the team is just the two of them. Yoshitsugu leans in and whispers a question into Mari's ear. Mari turns to him, her expression a mix of embarrassment and resolve. "It's me!" Yoshitsugu can only manage a single, stunned syllable in response. Mari puffs out her cheeks, blushing but standing firm in her decision. She insists she knows what he's thinking, but this is happening regardless. She complains that the word girl is a bit of a stretch for someone her age. Despite her protest, she holds up her own bat-themed medal and shouts, "Trans!" The dress-up sequence begins as she runs her hands through her long hair. Silhouetted bats fly across her form as her magical transformation continues. A brilliant light shimmers as Mari's transformation begins. She strikes a pose, declaring herself Magical Girl Marin with a triumphant laugh. The magical bravado instantly shatters, leaving a mortified Mari flailing in her business suit. Yuri mercilessly teases her sister, calling her cute and perfect for their promotional videos. From behind, Yoshitsugu tells Mari that she has nothing to be so embarrassed about. He explains that the idea of a magical girl is simply the desire to help people. With a warm smile, he insists that the role actually suits her quite well. His sincere compliment leaves Mari blushing and utterly speechless. Yuri laughs, agreeing that it's an era where adult women and boys transform in anime. In her magical girl form, Mari had the potential but couldn't find a compatible Seirai. Yuri explains her sister became a mechanic just so she could help other heroes. A flustered Mari snaps at her younger sister for revealing too much personal information. She admits that her ability to transform is entirely thanks to the new crossgear. She explains its principle. It amplifies the spiritual power of a non-Yusha hero. A hopeful look crosses Yoshitsugu's face as he wonders if he could use it too. Mari immediately and flatly tells him that it's completely impossible for him. He is utterly baffled by her firm and instantaneous refusal. Mari explains the power boost is a special bonus granted exclusively to female heroes. He demands to know why, and she retorts that Seirai prefer cute girls to old men. He concedes with a pout, while Yuri notes his medal fits, but the standard is unchanged. She clarifies it has backward compatibility, but he asks if the performance is the same. A sudden mischievous idea strikes Yuri, her cat-like features emphasizing her excitement. She gets right in his face, insisting with sparkling eyes that he must try transforming. He's shocked by her sudden demand, but she cheerfully insists it's just for a moment. He protests, arguing that a middle-aged man cosplaying as a magical girl is just wrong. From a walkway above, Yuri exclaims that seeing just that is exactly her intention. She gets uncomfortably close, claiming a man in an ill-fitting costume provides unique nutrients. She presses the medal into his hands, pleading for him to do it just once. As he tries to stop her, she firmly activates the medal against his chest. The device flashes with a brilliant light, initiating the trans sequence. A large, fluffy tarantula drone pops out above him as the "dress up" command appears. Mari grabs her head in horror, demanding to know what is happening. Yuri whispers that her bad habit of morbid curiosity simply got the better of her. Aghast, Mari stares at her sister's complete disregard for basic human dignity. A swirl of sparkles and webbing completely envelops Yoshitsugu's form. From the magical light, the pattern of a spiderweb stocking emerges. The transformation completes, revealing a beautiful girl in a bizarre kimono dress fusion. The new girl looks around, her eyes wide with utter confusion. "Huh?" she wonders. She stares down at her new hands and body in shock, asking what this is. Her body strikes a pose on its own as she announces her new identity. "Magical girl Mew Mew at your service," she repeats, her expression now blank. Mari leans forward from the observation booth, her mouth agape in total disbelief. She stammers Yoshitsugu's name, asking what in the world has just happened. Her eye twitches, her mind completely short-circuiting from the impossible sight. The new episode title is revealed, Episode 5, MIU, with Mew Mew staring blankly. Mew Mew looks ahead, her mind trying to process the impossible. This is no way. Mari can only whisper a single, stunned name into the silence. Mew. Her hair flies as she watches in horror, completely shocked by the turn of events. Miu Miu's body suddenly goes limp, collapsing unconscious onto an infirmary bed. Her spiderweb stockings are visible as she lies face down on the clean sheets. The world fades to black as a dark, fragmented memory begins to surface. A hand reaches out from the darkness. "This is bad," a voice thinks in despair. A cruel blonde man stands over a bloodied girl, mockingly apologizing for his attack. He smirks, claiming he was only trying to discipline her a little bit. His cruel companions laugh, saying she deserved it for refusing a yusha. A young Yoshitsugu glares with hatred, cradling the girl as she begs him to apologize. The girl, Miu, weakly raises a fist, telling him not to fight back. She places her hand in his, asking him to apologize in her place. The memory ends on the boy's desperate, agonized scream of her name. Miu! Yoshitsugu's eyes fly open, gasping as he wakes with a violent start. Mari is at his bedside, asking if he's finally awake as he looks around, confused. He stares at his own hands, a wave of relief washing over him. Mari explains he reverted to normal as soon as they removed the transformation gear. He asks if this is a cross-gear ability, but she insists it's completely impossible. She reiterates that the gear should only generate a suit, never change the user's body. He recalls the transformation, noting it was supposed to be a pathetic sight. Not this. Determined to find answers, he asks to borrow his medal for further investigation. Yuri appears, bowing deeply in a mortified and sincere apology for her prank. Yoshitsugu pats her head, reassuring her that he's fine and that he never expected that. Mari reports the medical checkup found nothing wrong, blaming his fainting on shock. He grimly acknowledges that an experience like that would certainly be a major shock. Mari tells him to go home and rest, as she needs time to analyze the medal. She asks about his living situation. He explains he's back at his family's home. He tells her not to push herself too hard, a moment of genuine concern. He leaves the facility, riding his motorcycle away through the city streets. He arrives back at the Hayatsuki liquor store, announcing that he is home. He carries his helmet inside, ready to help with a delivery of 2 cases of beer. His father greets him from behind the counter, surprised to see him home so early. He immediately asks if Yoshitsugu has gone back to being a hero, calling it a joke. Yoshitsugu quickly deflects, claiming he just felt unwell and left work early. His father sighs, telling him to quit the dangerous work and take over the shop. He warns his son not to let his mother hear he's still working near the Yusha. Yoshitsugu can only offer a quiet, pained apology to his concerned father. His father relents, asking him to help with the delivery since he's home anyway. The scene transitions to the quiet of the evening. The Hayatsuki liquor store is shown under a peaceful, starry night sky. A news report shows a suspect from Star Account who has confessed to a violent crime. His father asks if that was his old company, and Yoshitsugu quietly confirms it was. His father remarks that there have been a lot of unsettling incidents happening lately. Yoshitsugu remembers his own battles, always prioritizing the safety of the citizens. His jaw clenches, angered that he was pushed aside by the reckless Yusha. A reporter asks a company man for a comment on the Yusha's recent incident. The representative offers a polished, hollow apology on the Yusha's behalf. His father has had enough, abruptly turning off the television in disgust. Yoshitsugu says he'll clean up later. His father asks if he's already done eating. Alone in his room, he reflects that the company that fired him is no longer his problem. He feels like he's running away, a feeling he dislikes, and opens a closet door. He pulls out an old, thick book from the shelf, his expression somber. He recognizes the dusty tome as his childhood photo album. With a soft sound, he opens the album, ready to finally confront his past. In the quiet of the lab, Yoshitsugu paged through an old album, confirming a sad truth. The scene fades, marking the passage of time. A new day of testing began, proving he was the only male who could transform. When other male heroes tried, the gear produced only a ridiculous, ill-fitting costume. In a blur of motion, magical girl Miu Miu began her combat simulation. She moved with incredible speed, unleashing a powerful attack against the training drone. The observation team, including Mari and Yuri, watched in utter astonishment. Her combat data revealed she was superior to Metal Spider in every single metric. Yuri watched with a grim expression, realizing this anomaly required serious investigation. Later, Mari told Yoshitsugu the tests were grueling, but he insisted he was fine. Mari reported to the president that there were no negative physical effects from the transformation. She mused that while fighting as a girl was strange, it wasn't a problem. The cross-gear granted him immense power, making him a top-class hero. Seeing this, the president told Yoshitsugu that he had a formal proposal. He officially asked Yoshitsugu to sign a contract to work as a magical girl. He clarified that for the sake of the old fans, he wouldn't abandon Metal Spider. A flustered Yoshitsugu asked him to explain what that meant. He would operate as Metal Spider, but transform into Mew Mew when needed. Mari explained he would also serve as a mascot, to Yoshitsugu's mortification. As a final incentive, the president offered to double his salary. He excitedly imagined the perfect balance of a classic hero and a quirky new one. Mari thought it was a good offer, waiting expectantly for his answer. But Yoshitsugu stood and, to their shock, formally refused the proposal. He firmly placed the cross-gear metal case on the conference table. He announced that he was returning the gear, stunning Mari into silence. With unshakable resolve, he declared he would never become a magical girl again. The president was aghast, asking why he would waste such incredible power. Yoshitsugu turned to Mari, a silent apology in his eyes for her wasted efforts. Mari looked down, admitting that they were the ones who had been inconsiderate. Yoshitsugu explained that in his case, the problem was far more troublesome. He reached into his pocket for a photograph, having prepared for this moment. Mari took the picture from his hand, her expression one of confusion. He explained it was him as a child. She teased that he looked like a girl. As she studied the boy's face, a flicker of recognition crossed her features. Her eyes widened in shock as he handed her a second photograph. It showed the young boy embraced by a girl identical to magical girl Mew Mew. Mari gasped, realizing she was looking at the real magical girl Mew Mew. Yoshitsugu confirmed the girl's name was Hayatsuki Mew, his twin sister. The revelation stunned both Marie and the president into absolute silence. Mari was shocked she never knew, but he insisted family was irrelevant to work. The president stammered, asking if this was really Yoshitsugu's sister. Mari asked if he truly believed that, and he quietly admitted he did. He then revealed the tragic truth. His sister had died many years ago. Mari's expression softened with immediate understanding. It would be impossible for him. Yoshitsugu hung his head, pained by the thought of fighting in his sister's form. He didn't know why the cross-gear did this, but he couldn't accept it. Borrowing her form without permission felt like a deep desecration of the dead. He had felt the gear's incredible power, but he still couldn't bring himself to use it. The president, his face etched with empathy, said he understood completely. He formally withdrew his previous offer, surprising Marie with his swift decision. He knew all too well the pain of losing a cherished family member. They would proceed with the original plan, with Yoshitsugu acting as their commander. He pushed Yoshitsugu's original spirit medal back across the table. Mari returned the medal, saying her own investigation had revealed no abnormalities. She mused that much of the otherworldly metal technology remained a mystery. Her curiosity piqued. She asked Yoshitsugu where he had acquired his medal. He recalled being active on the front lines when she was just a new mechanic. He explained it was common to inherit medals from predecessors with similar aptitudes. He gave her a reassuring pat on the head, saying it wasn't a forbidden item. Mari watched him, thinking the cause must lie with him or the medal itself. As he walked away, she wondered what secrets he could possibly be hiding. The scene shifts to a high school campus under a gloomy, overcast sky. A pair of fluffy, wolf-like ears twitched, sensing the change in the air. The wolf girl, Amanita, stood alone on the rooftop, looking up expectantly. Nearby students commented on the strange weather, hoping it wouldn't start to rain. A voice suddenly called out her name, Amanita! It was the celebrity Yusha Haruto, telling her to hurry home before it rained. Her eyes instantly filled with sparkling adoration at the sight of him. She bounded over, nuzzling him affectionately while calling him her master. He asked why she didn't wait for him during homeroom as they had planned. She pouted, complaining that it was unfair they were in different classes. She just wanted to always be by his side. He sighed that she was a handful. He promised to spoil her when they got home, and she blushed with delight. Other students watched them pass, swooning over how cool the Yusha was. One mentioned that even the gym teacher was amazed by his athletic ability. Amanita walked proudly beside him, clinging happily to his arm. She told him that everyone was praising him, but he just sighed in response. He lamented that he only wanted a quiet life but kept standing out. Another girl swooned, finding his mysterious side incredibly attractive. A group of girls waved as he passed, calling out to their beloved Yusha-sama. From a distance, two of Yuri's friends watched with expressions of pure disdain. The camera pans across the quiet school grounds. The scene establishes the mundane setting before the gossip begins. One of the friends commented that Amanita's outfit was far too revealing. The other agreed, saying it was better to be clear about such things. She scoffed that a Yusha would do anything to feel good about himself. She didn't understand otherworldly culture, but found his behavior very strange. They noted that it looked like Amanita wasn't even wearing any underwear. One girl whispered to the other that it was an order from Haruto himself. She joked that he must have been chosen as a Yusha because he's a pervert. She then turned to Yuri saying that of course she was different. She believed Haruto was just showing off the power he had been given. She then asked Yuri directly if she agreed with her harsh assessment. Yuri finally spoke, admitting that their constant leering was indeed quite creepy. Her friends were taken aback by her blunt and unexpected agreement. Just then, one of them spotted Yoshitsugu arriving on his bicycle. Yuri went to greet him, and he asked if she was just heading home. Yuri told her friends she was leaving with an acquaintance and would see them tomorrow. Her friends watched them, wondering if the older man was her boyfriend. Yoshitsugu apologized for the other day and asked about the girl she was with. Yuri looks down sadly, admitting she and her classmates are not really friends. She believes they are pathetic, fawning over power they secretly look down upon. More than that, she finds the sycophants surrounding the powerful to be revolting. She explains how they rely on Ayusha's power while simultaneously mocking them. She turns to Yoshitsugu, questioning if such cowardly people are even worth saving. He understands her feelings, but says a hero cannot expect gratitude for their work. Yuri insists that clinging to great power is the only way to truly survive. He grips his bike, stating that the strong must use their power to defend the weak. A small smile crosses her face as she admits he is a true hero. Her expression turns cold as she declares her family is all that matters to her. Her chilling words leave Yoshitsugu utterly stunned and at a loss for words. An unseen observer realizes the true dangerous depth of Yuri's family devotion. The girl reveals Mari's true motive: to control her sister's violent tendencies. She playfully asks if Hayatsuki is her sister's special companion, flustering him. Yuri gives a flustered thanks for his help, surprising Yoshitsugu with her demeanor. A sudden thunderous sound startles them both in the middle of their conversation. Yoshitsugu looks up, his instincts telling him this is no ordinary storm. He sees a jagged crack of energy tear through the overcast sky above them. The tear in reality resolves into a single massive and terrifying reptilian eye. A colossal white dragon bursts forth from the portal, roaring over the city. A dark swarm of smaller winged creatures pours out from the gate behind it. They stare in disbelief at the impossibly large gate to the other world. On a nearby rooftop, a cloaked lizard man surveys the unfolding invasion below. The creature's powerful, armored physique is revealed in a menacing close-up. The invasion begins under the ominous title, Episode 7, Departure. The team's command van screeches to a sudden, urgent halt on the street. Mari leaps from the van, apologizing for her delayed arrival at the scene. Yoshitsugu assures her it's fine, as they too have only just arrived. He immediately requests a status report from the team's waiting technician. Mari's eyes widen in shock as she comprehends the scale of the threat. The technician confirms the presence of a single, massive rock dragon. He continues, reporting a horde of countless orcs and smaller goblins. The report concludes with the identification of skeletal creatures called bone birds. Yoshitsugu grimly notes this is the worst invasion he has seen in years. Mari recognizes it as a mass migration, recalling Yoshitsugu's past experience. Staring out at the city, Yoshitsugu silently agrees with her grim assessment. A tactical map shows the monster's path leads toward a station and mall. Yuri states that they must contain the damage and keep it to a minimum. A local hero manages to shatter one of the skeletal bone birds in combat. He cries out in despair, realizing the skeletal swarm is seemingly endless. Another hero, an android, is struck by a powerful enemy energy attack. The blast sends her hurtling towards a waiting mob of ground troops. She lands hard on the broken pavement, surrounded by enemy monsters. Her robotic face stares blankly, overwhelmed by the impossible odds. She looks up to see the colossal rock dragon looming directly over her. Haruto casually remarks that it has been a while since he saw a dragon. He smirks, finding the level of destruction before him merely entertaining. Amanita leans against him, dismissively calling the dragon a big lizard. The overwhelmed local hero notes what a massive ruckus the monsters are causing. The technician confirms that a normal hero is simply no match for the dragon. Yoshitsugu realizes that none of the other Yusha are making an appearance. Looking at his data, the technician confirms that this is indeed the case. Yoshitsugu clenches his fist, declaring that it is up to them alone. Yuri asks uncertainly if he means just their team against this entire army. Mari notes thoughtfully that this will be Yuri's first true combat mission. She explains to a shocked Yuri that Yusha never rush to a battle scene. They wait for the perfect moment to make the most dramatic entrance. They plan to appear only after all the other heroes have been defeated. Yuri is aghast as Mari explains they only care about their own glory. Yoshitsugu smiles wryly, saying this is business as usual for him. He states they are not fighting for praise, but simply to do their best. Yuri clenches her fist, beginning to understand why Yusha are so despised. A live streamer appears, broadcasting from the scene of the unfolding disaster. She excitedly announces the new hero team's debut battle to her viewers. Mari wonders aloud if this is the rumored high school Yusha's first appearance. Her livestream chat is flooded with viewers goading her to get closer. Mari looks on in disgust, wondering what is wrong with these people. Her attention is drawn upward by the distinct buzzing of an approaching drone. She spots a news drone as Yoshitsugu complains about flying monsters nearby. He turns to Mari, urgently telling her that they must move now. He resolves to focus on his duty as commander, pushing distractions aside. He points out the drone could be shot down, endangering civilians below. Yuri watches the unfolding chaos with a grim and serious expression. She realizes with distaste that both the heroes and citizens are selfish. Mari turns to her younger sister, asking if she is ready to fight. Yuri calmly states that it is fine, as her power is needed now. The dragon's path is shown heading directly for a nearby shopping arcade. In that arcade is a small bakery cherished by her mother and sister. She doesn't know what will become of the town's people, but she will gladly fight to protect what is precious to her family. Mari looks relieved by her sister's resolve, telling her that helps. Yoshitsugu tells her that her reasons don't matter. It's better than making excuses. He tells her he is counting on her and will offer all his support. Yuri's friend holds her own medal, activating it with a firm set. Yoshitsugu raises his fist to the sky, beginning his own transformation sequence. A vortex of energy and metallic webbing envelops his transforming body. The iconic silhouette of his armored form begins to take shape. He lands in a crouch, fully transformed into the powerful Metal Spider 2. A close-up highlights the sleek, powerful design of his brand new armor. The dark-haired girl walks with purpose, resolved that she must help. She remembers her friends, reaffirming that her desire to help remains strong. But she recalls Haruto's selfish behavior and knows she is different. She declares she will never be like them as she activates her medal. Mari raises her own medal with a grin, declaring that she is going too. Sparkles surround Mari as the power of the crossgear begins to flow. Yuri closes her eyes, calmly initiating her own powerful transformation. Dark bat-like silhouettes swirl around Mari as her magical girl form appears. The magical dress-up sequence materializes her frilly witch's outfit. A bright cat-shaped silhouette marks the beginning of Yuri's transformation. Her whimsical hat, complete with cat ears, forms as her transformation completes. With the battle cry given, the transformation sequence begins in a flash of magical light. Frilly skirts and sparkling accessories materialize around the two sisters. Mari's hand raises as she announces her new identity. Magical Girl Mariren. Yuri's fist clenches with power as she declares herself Magical Girl Yuki. The two strike a final, triumphant pose, ready to face the invading horde. Mariren points at a holographic map, assigning Yuri to fight the massive rock dragon. Metal Spider tells the new magical girls not to overdo it on their first mission. Mariren admits she's a little worried, but her new suit grants her the power of flight. She suddenly calls out to Yoshitsugu, catching his attention before they part ways. With a serious expression, she holds out a small object, urging him to take it. He looks down to see the ornate Mew Mew medal, the source of his unwanted transformation. He reminds her of his promise to the president never to use that power again. She insists it's only a precaution, but he begins to protest her request. They don't know what might happen, she explains. It's just a good luck charm. She pleads with him, her voice filled with genuine worry for his safety. Seeing a new, earnest side of her, he relents and agrees to take the medal. A hand is raised, signaling the start of their desperate counterattack. The Magical Girl Battle Squad gives the final command and leaps into action. In a dark alley, a young woman flees in terror from a pack of goblins. The 8th episode, The Magical Girls, begins as she runs for her life. A snarling goblin prepares to throw a weapon at the fleeing student. A weighted bola flies through the air, aimed directly at her legs. The rope wraps around her ankles, sending her crashing to the ground. She lies on the pavement, tangled and helpless as the monsters close in. A dark, menacing silhouette looms over her as she looks up in terror. Grimy clawed hands reach out to grab the fallen, defenseless girl. The goblins swarm her, tearing her cardigan as she lets out a terrified scream. She curls into a ball, begging the approaching monsters to stay away. The grotesque faces of the goblins leer at her, drool dripping from their jaws. A powerful kick sends a goblin flying as a new hero asks if she can run. The rescued student scrambles away as her savior stands guard over her. She gasps in shock and relief as she makes her escape from the alley. The new hero tells the girl to get as far away from the danger as possible. With a confident smirk, she turns her attention to the remaining monsters. Brandishing a huge drill lance, she introduces herself as Drill Alice. The goblin horde shrieks, preparing to charge the lone hero. Alice notes with disgust that the monsters seem to be targeting only women. She glances back, confirming that the student she saved has gotten away safely. With the civilian clear, she declares that she will no longer hold back. She charges forward, her spinning drill lance tearing through the goblin ranks. A fish-like monster observes, noting the goblins are unusually well-equipped. A bead of sweat forms on Alice's face as she realizes something is wrong. She thinks that for a simple mob, their coordinated movements are too precise. The massive fish monster leaps from the side, launching a surprise attack. Alice looks up in shock, realizing too late that she has fallen into a trap. Her eyes widen in alarm as the creature descends upon her. Her weapon is knocked from her hands as the ambush overwhelms her. The goblin horde piles on top of her, pinning her to the ground. The monstrous fish creature looms over her, drooling in anticipation. From a rooftop, a man with a lightning tattoo watches through binoculars. He walks along the rooftop, commenting on the lovely view he's getting. He zooms in on the struggling Alice, deciding he wants a closer look. The scene darkens, focusing on the hero's desperate struggle. Alice's eye fills with tears of rage at this unforeseen and utter disgrace. The fish monster roars, ready to finish off the captured hero. She grits her teeth, refusing to become prey for such lowly imps. A single perfect snowflake drifts down, catching her completely by surprise. Magical girl Yuki stands over the scene, the goblins now frozen solid. Yuki raises her hand, preparing to dispatch the frozen monsters. With a single gesture, she shatters the ice-encased goblins into dust. Drill Alice looks up at her unexpected savior, a bead of sweat on her temple. Yuki's hair flutters in the magically chilled air, her work complete. She looks down at the scene, her expression calm and utterly unflappable. Alice, her outfit in tatters, manages to stammer out a quiet word of thanks. Yuki explains she was just dealing with a troublesome swarm on another route. A man's hand claps as he compliments Yuki on her impressive display of skill. The man, Akaki Yusha, notes how easily she wiped out the entire swarm. Yuki gives him a cold, withering stare, completely unimpressed by his presence. She asks if he is a Yusha, pointing out that he did nothing but watch. He shamelessly explains that a hero needs a little crisis to look good. Yuki glares at him, thinking that he is exactly as her sister described. He calls out to her as she turns her back on him to leave. She tells him she's in a hurry and doesn't have time to talk. Pointing to the sky, she states her intention is to go kill the dragon. He angrily tells her not to be ridiculous, that monster is his prey. His anger fades into a slimy grin as a new idea occurs to him. He puts his arm around her, suggesting they go fight it together as a couple. He leans in closer, pleased with his idea of a couple of Yusha. He whispers that his story needs more girls, promising to make her his main heroine. Drill Alice watches from the side, wondering if this guy is for real. Alice suddenly throws her arms around the Yusha, acting seductively. She tells him a rugged man like him is her type, not a little girl. She purrs that she can teach him all sorts of amazing things. She presses herself against him, continuing her very convincing performance. The Yusha is completely flustered, falling for her act hook, line twist and sinker. Alice tells a bewildered Yuki that it's too bad, but the Yusha is hers. She subtly shoves him, creating an opening and telling Yuki to go. Yuki's eyes widen as she understands Alice's desperate gambit. Alice shoves the distracted Yusha again, giving Yuki more time to escape. The Yusha is shocked by her sudden forcefulness, his attention diverted. Alice pulls him into a deep kiss, completely monopolizing his attention. Yuki's determined eye is all that is seen as she makes her escape. Elsewhere, the sky is thick with a swarm of skeletal bone birds. The hero Reiki fights desperately against the overwhelming tide of monsters. He grits his teeth in frustration as one of the creatures gets too close. He blasts one of the bone birds out of the sky with a powerful attack. He yells that there are simply too many of them for him to handle alone. He notes that the number of heroes with flight capabilities is severely limited. An unseen blast shatters a bone bird that was about to attack him. Magical girl Maririn appears above him, asking if he requires any assistance. Magical girl Maririn arrives, announcing she's reinforcements from the Magical Girl Battle Squad. The hero Reiki recalls hearing rumors about a joint team cooperating with a Yusha. He realizes her arrival means the Yusha must be handling the main threat. Maririn explains she is here under the commander's orders to provide support. She clarifies that as a Hiru, she is no match for the dragon. Reiki looks at the swarming bone birds, doubting she can handle their numbers. He believes only a wide area attack or a Yusha's power could succeed. Maririn confidently tells him that it will not be a problem at all. She brandishes her twin guns, ready to demonstrate the power of her crossgear. A new episode, Brave vs. Dragon, begins as Metal Spider faces the Horde. A massive halberd lord crushes a soda can with a loud crunch. The hulking orc stands atop a vending machine, ready for a fight. Metal Spider dryly comments on the monster's dynamic way of drinking juice. He identifies the creature's massive weapon as a dangerous halberd. The halberd lord lets out a furious roar, lunging forward to attack. Metal Spider swiftly ensnares the monster in a pre-laid web trap. He stands over the trapped horde, announcing a demonstration of his new gear. He prepares to show them the full performance of his updated suit. He perches on a web line anchored between buildings, above the trapped monsters. Metal Spider pulls on the web line with all his might. The immense weight of the halberd lord is lifted into the air. Its massive feet are bound tightly by the impossibly strong metallic threads. He marvels that his old suit could never have withstood such an incredible weight. He uses the monster's own weight as a colossal wrecking ball. He lands gracefully on the web, poised like a spider at its center. He shouts his finisher command, preparing to end the battle in one move. He swings the massive orc down into the rest of the goblin horde. The impact sends a shockwave through the street, obliterating the smaller monsters. He kneels for a moment amidst the carnage, his duty done. The monsters disintegrate into black dust as the attack finishes. The orc's massive halberd clatters uselessly onto the pavement. He reflects on the suit's incredible power, wondering about the forbidden crossgear. A new voice calls out to him, using his last name, Hayatsuki-senpai. A hero in green insectoid armor introduces himself as Locust from Star Account. Metal Spider greets him by his real name, Tobita, much to his embarrassment. Locust apologizes for the trouble his former company caused Metal Spider. He enthusiastically praises his mentor for taking down 2 halberd lords so easily. Locust notes that Mari must have developed the impressive new gear for him. He then asks Metal Spider where the team's Yusha is located. He explains that he is looking at the location data for affiliated members. Metal Spider sees the same data appear on his own tactical display. All the energy signatures are converging on a single ominous location. He realizes with dawning horror that the target is a school. Inside, schoolgirls watch in fear as the dragon's shadow passes over them. One girl confidently reassures her friends that the Yusha-sama will protect them. Yuri's friend looks on with deep uncertainty, wondering if that's truly the case. Elsewhere, a muscular boy boasts that the fist hero Chaos-sama will crush it. Haruto smiles smugly, saying he won't even need to make an appearance. Amanita boasts that her master could destroy the dragon in a single hit. Haruto coolly tells her to let the lesser heroes wear themselves out first. He explains that their struggle will only make his eventual entrance more dramatic. Metal Spider realizes they're using the all-girls school to create a spectacle. He grits his teeth in frustration at their callous and selfish tactics. He contacts Mari via his comms asking for a status update. Mari reports that she's finished with the small fry and is heading to Yuri. Metal Spider tells Locust he is also going, and they wish each other luck. He knows that their own, Yusha, Yuri, must be nearing the objective. A lightning bolt flashes in the sky as the dragon closes in. The colossal rock dragon descends from the stormy, monster-filled sky. On a rooftop, magical girl Yuki reports that the target is in range. She confirms that all surrounding residents have been successfully evacuated. Metal Spider acknowledges her report from the team's command van below. He makes a difficult request, asking her to minimize damage to the buildings. Yuki knows that defeating such a beast will require a massive, destructive technique. He reminds her that people's lives and memories are tied to these places. Her eyes widen as she thinks of a place precious to her own family. She remembers the small local bakery that her older sister loves. It is a place that is important to someone, and she must protect it. The memory strengthens her resolve, her expression hardening with determination. She stands firm as the massive rock dragon lands before her, roaring. She knows she must unleash her full power, but fears the collateral damage. She closes her eyes for a moment, whispering to herself that it's okay. Elsewhere, Marilyn weaves a massive web, thinking that she can do this. Locust, having arrived on the scene, kneels and prepares to provide support. Yuki's sword begins to glow with an immense fiery spiritual energy. She thinks of her sister and her allies, all working to support her. She declares her true identity. She is both a magical girl and a Yusha. "Charge!" she cries, pouring all of her power into her waiting blade. She leaps forward to meet the dragon, her blade poised for a killing blow. She screams the name of her special move, ready to end the fight. The dragon roars in fury, its massive jaws snapping at the tiny hero. She brings her sword down in a devastating arc, shouting, "Finale!" The blade slices cleanly through the monster's thick, rocky hide. The dragon's head is severed as shards of ice and rock fly apart. Its colossal, headless body begins to fall toward the city below. Before it can hit the ground, it disintegrates into black dust. Yuki lands gracefully, relieved that her plan was a success. She is glad it turned to dust just before it could crush the city. She looks to the distance, happy that her sister's favorite bakery is safe. At that same moment, the other Yusha are shown simply waiting, having done nothing. A new episode begins, Demon Night, as the dragon's remains fade away. A pulse of strange energy ripples through the still-open dimensional gate. Metal Spider looks up in shock, exclaiming that the gate is not closing. He knows that the unstable rift should have vanished with the boss monster's defeat. He realizes with horror that there must be a higher-ranking monster present. His spirit metal begins to vibrate violently in his transformation watch. He looks down at his wrist, wondering what is happening to his gear. He realizes the seirei within his metal is not resonating, but trembling in fear. On a distant rooftop, a lone, menacing figure stands watching the chaos. The true enemy, the Demon Knight, remains, his presence finally revealed. On a city rooftop, a caped warrior scoffs at the so-called Yusha. He proudly declares that their newcomer is far more skilled and refined. He is not like some reckless lord who fires off their power without thought. Metal Spider identifies his foe as a demon, a high-ranking ruler of monsters. A close-up on the Demon Knight's cold, reptilian eye reveals his alien nature. The demon sizes up his opponent, dismissing him as a fake hero, a hero. The hero questions the demon's presence, wondering what brought him to this world. The demon taunts him, asking if he fled here after a Yusha beat him. The demon's face is a mask of arrogant contempt as he judges the hero. He offers a truce, suggesting the hero surrender for the right to live. Metal Spider is taken aback by the creature's sheer audacity and strange logic. The demon questions why, explaining that inferiors must serve their superiors. Metal Spider raises his hands defensively, realizing his opponent is serious. The Demon Knight's fanatical eyes gleam as he reveals his true purpose. He declares that soon the Demon Lord Shurak will descend upon this world. But first, he must clean up the unsightly trash to prepare for his arrival. Metal Spider immediately takes a defensive stance, his body tense and ready. He instantly fires a volley of webbing, creating a dense, multi-layered barrier. The Demon Knight is momentarily impressed that his advance has been blocked. He dismisses the barrier as a mere wall of thread, unimpressed by the tactic. Metal Spider retorts that he has been a hero for over 10 years. The Demon Knight demands the human's name, permitting him to speak as prey. The hero says his name isn't worth remembering, but he introduces his title. He is the commander of the Magical Girl Battle Squad alternative, Metal Spider. The demon's eye narrows, accepting the introduction with a nod. He introduces himself as Schwenaxen, vice commander of the 3rd Knightly Order. He tells the hero to consider it an honor to be his first kill here. With introductions over, Schwenaxen explodes into motion with blinding speed. Metal Spider is shocked by his velocity, reacting just in time. He fires a web line that catches the demon's blade in a flash of light. The impact is immense, the sheer force of the blow traveling down the web. The hero's feet dig into the concrete as he is pushed back by the force. He struggles against the demon's overwhelming strength, his armor groaning. Schwenaxen smirks, a low growl rumbling in his chest as he presses on. Straining, Metal Spider wonders if he can hold his ground against this power. He is locked in a fierce contest of pure strength with the Demon Knight. The hero is battered by a relentless flurry of powerful sword strikes. A powerful overhead slash sends Metal Spider staggering across the rooftop. He is thrown to the ground, his body aching from the powerful impacts. He groans in pain, struggling to get back to his hands and knees. Schwenaxen notes that he feels no killing intent from the hero's fists. He accuses the hero of having been lulled into a false sense of security. Metal Spider admits to himself that he was naive to try and capture him. Through his shattered visor, his eye burns with a new cold fury. He must get serious now and is resolved to completely crush his opponent. He dodges another attack and weaves a small, intricate web in his hands. He throws the web like a shuriken, which wraps around the demon's sword. With a powerful tug, Metal Spider disarms his opponent in a swift move. He follows up instantly, striking a series of rapid blows with his hands. The hero's gauntlets clash against the demon's armored scales in a shower of sparks. The grinding of metal fills the air as their weapons lock in close combat. He catches the demon's blade between his gauntlets, holding it fast. The demon's eye widens slightly, surprised by the hero's sudden ferocity. Metal Spider pushes off, leaping high into the air to gain an advantage. His dark silhouette is framed against the sky as he prepares his attack. He cries out, "Finish!" activating his signature move with a surge of energy. A massive, glowing spiderweb of pure power slams into the Demon Knight. Schwen is caught in the blast, his claws digging into the energy construct. He is thrown back by the force of the attack, his armor cracking. A piece of his helmet shatters, revealing a glimpse of his reptilian face. The Demon Knight crashes hard against the rooftop, seemingly defeated. He looks down at the fallen hero, acknowledging that he is fine prey. He praises the hero's skill, but declares his qualifications are lacking. He notes that the Yusha are fond of such arrogant words themselves. He asks if a level 1's attack could ever harm a level 99 opponent. A memory of Mari flashes, urging him to take the medal as a good luck charm. He recalls her words about the cross gear and the power of a magical girl. Through his broken helmet, his eye fills with a dawning, desperate hope. The Demon Knight raises his massive, clawed foot to deliver the final blow. Metal Spider's helmet cracks further under the immense pressure of the foot. He tells the hero it's a shame to waste his talent, a cruel consolation. He promises to use the hero's corpse to serve the Demon Lord as undead. "Don't you dare!" he cries, his helmet shattering to reveal his furious face. Magical girl Maririn appears atop the demon, guns aimed, cheering Yoshitsugu on. The Demon Knight is stunned by her sudden and impossible appearance. Maririn yells, "Charge!" as she prepares to unleash her own special move. She unleashes Destroy as the new episode, Awakening, begins. The Demon Knight's face is illuminated by the massive blast of energy. The explosion engulfs him, shaking the entire rooftop with its raw power. Maririn lands, boasting about the power that wiped out the bone birds. She rushes to the injured Yoshitsugu's side, asking if he is all right. He says she showed him something uncool, and she scolds his recklessness. Yoshitsugu's eye widens in horror as he sees something behind her. "Mari!" he cries out as she turns in confusion, seeing the demon rise. The Demon Knight lunges forward, his movements a blur of terrifying speed. He grabs Maririn, his powerful claws closing around her small frame. Yoshitsugu can only watch in horror, his body unable to move. Maririn cries out in pain and shock as the demon's grip tightens. "Insolent little girl!" he snarls, lifting her effortlessly into the air. He dismisses her as an eyesore, his grip tightening around her head. From the street below, a civilian points up in shock at the struggle. "Damn it!" Yoshitsugu thinks, "My body won't move," as his hand lies limp. A voice echoes in his mind, reminding him he is a hero named Yoshitsugu. His eye fills with a new resolve as he remembers his duty. A memory of Miu's voice tells him not to hesitate if he wants to protect. The demon promises to send the Spider-Man to join her in death soon. He throws Maririn through the air, sending her hurtling towards the edge. She falls through the air, her expression a mask of pure terror. Her descent is suddenly halted by a massive, intricate spiderweb. The web catches her safely, a testament to a new power awakened. Magical girl. Maririn looks up from the rooftop, her expression one of utter shock. The Demon Knight, Schwen also turns, his reptilian eyes wide with surprise. Locust supports the battered Yoshitsugu, whose helmet is shattered, revealing his defiant gaze. Schwen looms over the hero, amazed he can still stand in his injured state. Clutching the Miu medal, Yoshitsugu grits his teeth, refusing to give up the fight. In a memory, Miu's voice gently encourages him, telling him this path is fine. His armor gone, Yoshitsugu holds the medal high and defiantly activates its power. A massive, ethereal spider spirit materializes behind him, initiating a strange new trance. Miu's spirit entrusts her power to him as he is enveloped by the light. Her smiling face appears in his mind, calling his name with complete trust. A swirl of energy reveals a new feminine silhouette, stunning the Demon Knight. The transformation reveals spiderweb patterned stockings and a frilly ribboned outfit. Magical girl Miu strikes a pose, her grand and unexpected entrance complete. The Demon Knight stares up in shock at the new hero's spiderweb legs. The petite Miu stands defiantly before the massive hulking Demon Knight. The Demon Knight recoils slightly, utterly baffled by this impossible new form. He demands to know her identity, his mind reeling from the transformation. Miu smirks, playfully asking if he hadn't been listening to her introduction. She declares that she is now a magical girl, ready to defeat him. She marvels at her new body's lightness, feeling as swift as the wind. The Demon Knight growls in frustration, calling her impudent for her evasive maneuvers. He swings his blade, but she effortlessly blocks the attack with a web shield. The massive sword grinds against the web, unable to break through the threads. He scoffs that her shield is useless and cannot possibly defend against him. From behind the web, Miu Miu calmly agrees with his assessment of her shield. Using the web as a springboard, she flips gracefully over the Demon Knight's head. He turns in shock, his reptilian eyes wide at her incredible speed and agility. He realizes the shield was a feint, stunned by her impossible reaction speed. She lands a powerful spinning kick directly to the back of his neck. The impact sends the massive Demon Knight staggering forward, completely caught off guard. A rapid flurry of powerful blows lands all over the Demon Knight's body. He demands to know if she is a Yusha, her power beyond anything he expected. She winks, explaining she's just a hero borrowing a friend's amazing power. She gathers her energy, her hands glowing as she prepares to unleash her finisher. Her eyes blaze with power as she prepares to unleash her ultimate, special move. She unleashes her Annihilation Strike, a massive flower of pure destructive energy. The Demon Knight is caught head-on in the overwhelming blast of magical energy. The attack transforms into a colossal, fluffy spider that completely engulfs him. As the smoke and dust from the powerful attack begin to settle and clear, Miu Miu stands calmly in the aftermath, her hair blowing in the wind. The Demon Knight is revealed, completely trapped within a hardened web cocoon. He groans in pain and defeat, completely immobilized by the powerful webbing. Miu Miu looks down upon her captured foe, her expression calm and unreadable. She casually flicks a splatter of dark monster blood from her gauntlet. She explains that she intentionally missed his vital points so he will survive. Tearing his helmet, she exposes his reptilian face as he struggles in his bonds. Her smile turns predatory as she tells him his wounds are only shallow. She warns him not to mistake her actions for mercy or he will regret it. She grabs his face, demanding he tell her everything before he is killed. She says the Yusha will handle the interrogation, as some are sadistic maniacs. The Demon Knight sweats, his eyes wide with terror at her chilling threat. Yuri's voice calls out, asking if her older sister's all right after the battle. Yuri arrives to find Merurin safe, who smiles and reassures her younger sister. Miu Miu appears, casually carrying the Demon Knight's helmet in a web sack. Yuri flies into a rage, lunging at the demon who harmed her sister. High on a rooftop, Haruto and Amanita have been watching the entire battle. Haruto notes that Yoshitsugu fought well, but had to borrow Mari's power. She reveals the prisoner's high rank within the Demon Lord's army. She suggests they hand the prisoner over to other Yusha for interrogation. Mari looks worried, not wanting to subject her younger sister to an interrogation. Yuri trembles with rage, wanting to kill the demon who hurt her sister. Haruto appears, telling them to head back while he handles the prisoner. With a casual flick of his wrist, he conjures a ball of flame. He calmly announces his spell, mid-level flame magic, ready to attack. Miu Miu's eyes widen in horror, realizing he intends to kill their prisoner. She instantly creates a web shield, blocking his fireball at the last second. The fireball explodes against her shield in a massive, fiery conflagration. The web shield crystallizes, forming a dome that contains the powerful explosion. Miu Miu stares in shock, whispering the word magic in disbelief. Haruto sighs with annoyance, complaining that it's difficult to hold back his power. He jokes that he overcooked the demon, aiming for medium but getting well done. He pats her head condescendingly, apologizing for what she did to the demon. She is shocked by his touch as he calls her kind for protecting the demon. He explains that a Yusha must sometimes be cruel in order to survive. Amanita swoons, calling her master cool as he lectures on harsh reality. Miu Miu angrily interrupts, telling him they need the demon for information. He calls her pragmatic for her size and tells her not to be deceptive. He tells her not to get so worked up as he brandishes a cleaver. Wearing an apron, he cheerfully asks if they are hungry and on edge. Mari recognizes his cooking magic and identifies him as Haruto Tsutsumi. He seems pleased that a top-tier hero like her already knows his name. Amanita fawns over his fame while he pretends to want a quiet life. Mari is disgusted by his hypocrisy after he so brazenly replaced Yoshitsugu. He opens a menu, offering to treat them specially because they are cute. He offers to make them anything they want, suggesting children's menu items. Mari coldly refuses, stating she is too old for a children's menu. Miu Miu states her age is 28, while Mari is 20. Haruto's face freezes in a mask of pure shock, unable to process this. He stammers in disbelief, asking which one of them is 28 years old. He mutters that they don't look like old hags, calling it a joke. A wave of intense, palpable cold suddenly emanates from the enraged Yuri. Her eyes glow with pure fury as she instantly freezes Haruto's hand. She screams at the top of her lungs, ordering him not to touch her sister. Haruto casually melts the ice as Mari panics over her sister's violent outburst. He tells Yuri not to make such a scary face, as it frightens his slaves. Yuri glares, warning him she won't show any mercy if it happens again. He waves off her threat, telling the fellow, Yusha, not to fight. Miu Miu remembers that Haruto attends the same school as Mari's younger sister. He gets close, complimenting her on capturing the demon. Impressive for a hero. He proposes that if her sister is useless, the three of them should party up. The arrogant Yusha, Haruto, complains that fighting the Demon Lord's army is a hassle. Magical girl Yuki coldly retorts that with his power, it should be an easy task. Her eyes blaze with fury as she declares her only true partner is her older sister. Haruto mockingly asks if she is trying to audition for a spot in his harem. He then asks why she kept Miu Miu a secret, and she quietly apologizes. Haruto holds up a cleaver, menacingly telling Yuki that he has a use for her. Miu Miu is caught between two arguing magical girls, trying to keep them apart. Yuki snaps, telling someone not to use her first name so casually. Miu Miu reminds them they are not high schoolers and should think of the trouble they're causing. Yuki asks if her sister is once again endangering the town she holds so dear. Her hand begins to glow with a dark power as a shocked Maririn looks on. Haruto laughs, thanking Yuki and noting that her intense bloodlust is becoming a problem. Miu Miu tells someone it's their fault, asking them not to make her so anxious. Haruto glances away, letting out a small sound of pure annoyance. He abruptly turns and tells his companion, Amanita, that they are leaving immediately. He storms off in a rage, telling Amanita to shut her mouth when she calls to him. A cruel smile spreads across his face as he decides to prey on the weak. As they walk away, Amanita sadly reflects on the true nature of the Yusha. Miu Miu reassures Yuki, telling her it is fine and accepts her apology. Yuki laments that the Yusha's terrible reputation is deserved if half are like Haruto. Miu Miu expresses her hope that she can make the title of Yusha respectable again. Maririn tells her younger sister not to worry and that they will do their best together. She gives a cheerful wink and a thumbs up, asking if she isn't her partner. Maririn smothers a flustered Yuki in a tight hug, crying out for her Oni-chan. Miu Miu calmly tells Yuri to settle down and save such displays for when they get home. Her phone begins to buzz, the spider emblem on its case clearly visible. On the other end of the line, the hero Locust asks if his senpai is all right. Miu Miu replies that a lot happened, but the situation is mostly under control now. Locust is confused by her high-pitched voice, asking if she's using a voice changer. As he speaks, a stray demon lunges at him from the side. Miu Miu senses the remaining demons as Maririn shouts for her not to overdo it. She insists she is just going to lend a hand, asking if she's going alone. She gives a confident wink, saying it's nothing to worry about and easier than breakfast. Maririn entrusts the job to Yoshitsugu, and Miu Miu happily dashes off to help. As she moves, she reflects on how any damage she takes is reset upon transformation. Firing a web line, she thinks that this power ultimately belongs to her late sister. She leaps through the air, resolving not to expose her sister's form to the public again. The Hero Gossip channel explodes with a sensational report on the mysterious Kumo girl. Yoshitsugu breaks into a cold sweat while Mari looks on with a deadpan expression. The president gleefully tells a mortified Yoshitsugu how incredibly popular Miu Miu has become. Yoshitsugu covers his face in shame, realizing he let his guard down and was filmed. Mari points out the social media buzz, including the new hashtag Kumoko spreading online. The president muses that since the rumor is out, they might as well lean into it. He cheerfully informs Yoshitsugu that their phone has been ringing nonstop with inquiries. He reveals they are telling callers she is a magical girl who is scheduled to debut soon. He then formally asks Yoshitsugu to reconsider his activities as magical girl Miu Miu. Yoshitsugu firmly states his terms. He will operate as Metal Spider in public. He explains the gear must be managed as a weapon, its location clarified. He sighs, determined not to cause the company any more trouble than he already has. He faces his boss and formally agrees to register as a magical girl on his terms. He clarifies that this powerful transformation is strictly for use in an emergency. Mari watches her commander, Yoshitsugu, with a serious and unreadable expression. The president agrees, noting that a rarely seen character only increases her value. Yoshitsugu thinks to himself that the man is a shrewd president for a reason. He clutches his medal, silently apologizing to his sister for what was meant to be the last time. The president turns to Marie, announcing that she has an important report to deliver. He informs Yoshitsugu that they have received the detailed analysis of his medal. Mari confronts Yoshitsugu, asking why he is still holding on to that specific medal. She pushes up her glasses, admitting that at a glance it appears to be normal. Yoshitsugu holds up the glowing artifact, explaining it is different from any known spirit medal. He stares at the familiar spider emblem, a single sound of disbelief escaping his lips.